just wanted to come on here and just share my little journey with feeling lost. Each year as I get older, the more I realize, the less I know. It's kind of a funny thing. I'm someone who is a planner. I love having things planned out. If I could have my life planned out for me every single day, I think I'd like that, honestly. It makes me feel like I'm in control. I got things handled. I have a plan. I like that. More often than not, life just does not go that way. And for me, that's kind of when I start to feel out of control. I feel lost. I'm just here to tell you, if you're someone like that you don't need to have it all figured out. Let me tell you a little story. Let me just say, the story isn't really a pity party. It's not to make me feel bad about myself. I know I'm going to say a lot of negative things, but it's going to turn around, okay? Over a year ago now, I had no idea who I was. And what that means is I didn't know what was important to me, what I valued, what made me happy, what I valued in myself. I had a very hard time managing stress on my own. I always needed other people's help to help me deal with my stress and also just like make me happy. I didn't really know what made me happy, and I could only find happiness in like things outside of myself. I pushed myself away from my friendships because I just didn't really feel comfortable in my own skin. I felt like I was pretending to be someone that I wasn't. I was very unhappy with almost every aspect of my life, starting with school. I wasn't actually in school a year ago because of COVID. I had done my entire second year online and part of my first year. It was very challenging for me, honestly, because of online school. I struggled with finding motivation, also finding support from other peers or just the teacher. I really felt like I didn't try my best, and that kind of hurt me a lot. I've always kind of defined my self-worth in a way based on like how well I did at school, and it made me feel very insecure about my abilities to learn. And I felt like my whole identity all throughout high school up until first year was that I was a good student. And now that I'm not a good student, what am I? Feeling like I wasn't good at school kind of flowed into my career. At this time, I was doing co-op at my first software engineering position, which was awesome, great experience, but I felt like insecure about my abilities as a software engineer. At the end of the year, my employer, we had a little bit of a one-on-one meeting about the things I did well during my term and the things that I could possibly work on. One of the things they said was that I needed to work on talking a little bit more. I was very quiet. Part of the reason I was so quiet was that I felt that I didn't have anything valuable to offer. I just had low self-esteem when it came to my career. Also during this time, there's a lot of turmoil with some of my relationships, and it made it really hard to reach out to friends, reach out to people, and feel like somebody understood. I isolated myself in a lot of ways, and I felt like I was a mess. That brings us to this boiling point when everything came to a head. It was my friend's birthday, one of my best friends from high school. She has a birthday 4 days before mine. We were at her house and like enjoying ourselves, and when she went to blow out the candles before she made her wish, I'm paraphrasing here, but she was like, "I really have nothing to wish for. I feel so lucky, life is good." I was so happy for her, but it really struck a little chord with me, and I thought to myself, wow, I cannot relate. I know when it's my birthday in 4 days time that I'm going to wish for things. I'm going to wish that my life was different, that I had my stuff together, and that I was less of a mess. I feel like birthdays force you to evaluate the last year. I really didn't enjoy my birthday last year because I just thought about how I felt like I hadn't grown at all since the previous year. I didn't feel like I had changed in any way. I didn't feel like I had matured or become a better person. It was just really upsetting to feel like an entire year went by. I was still the same person, if not like I felt like a worse person. Not that you actually need to know where you're going, but I didn't know the steps I needed to take to move forward. I just felt like I was in this stagnant place in my life. That birthday last year was kind of a turning point for me, honestly. I realized like things kind of need to change. I don't know what I need to do. It's always good to talk to somebody about anything you're dealing with, but it's only helpful when you're ready for it, when you're ready to absorb that information and ready to absorb that help. I don't think at this time I was ready, and so I didn't really talk to a therapist. Things just kind of happened for me very slowly. For my birthday, a few months after, I took a solo trip to Hawaii. I'm not gonna say that you need to go to Hawaii, but I think it is very important for everybody to do a little solo adventure. If it's in your area, if it's just to the next town or the next city. For me, it helped me gain a lot of confidence. Honestly, at this point, I really wasn't comfortable doing anything by myself. I didn't like going to the mall by myself. I didn't like driving anywhere by myself. I always had to be with somebody in order to feel like I could be happy or get things done. But this was like the first time I went to a restaurant by myself, ate by myself, interacted with strangers, and yeah, I was like, wow, okay, I can be happy and be on my own. Those things can exist at once. Mind you, I was in Hawaii, one of the most beautiful places in the world. If I wasn't happy there, I don't know if I could be happy anywhere. And another thing is when I was on the beach, I was talking to a person and they actually happened to have gone to UBC. Now they worked at this big tech company as like a software engineer. I think they're much higher up than that, honestly, but they were living their life. They were completely remote, living in Hawaii. I think they just bought an apartment there. So cool. That really stuck with me. Like a whole year later, I think about it all the time. A little flame on my bum. I was like, okay, I kind of want that. I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna aim for that. So when I got back from my trip, I actually did my first summer school class. I had spent over a year probably since I'd actually been in school and actually learned in a classroom. I took a first year biology course, but it kind of gave me a bit of confidence that I was like, okay, maybe I wasn't learning that well because things were online, not because I'm not a good student. That really made me feel good. Also, I finally talked to other students after 2 years of just like not talking to anybody. Finally got the chance to talk to people and I was like, okay, maybe I can talk to people and I'm not socially awkward. Yeah, and it kind of gave me a lot of confidence going back to school in the fall. In the fall, I moved out of my parents' house and I moved in with my roommate, which was like one of my best friends from high school. And finally, in my 4th year of being enrolled at UBC, I finally made friends in my program. That kind of like added a lot to my life and also in a way gives you a bit of confidence that, wow, people actually like me and want to be my friend. That is so nice. One of the big things is when you're trying to dig yourself out of a position where you are feeling lost is just learning something new. I know it's very cliche. Even if the hobby is very small, like knitting or crocheting, something I did when I was in 1st year, it kind of gives you a bit of confidence that, hey, I actually can learn something. I'm not an expert at it, but I can actually learn it. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of mindless and relaxing. Or maybe you are really good at it and like only good things can come out of learning a new hobby and trying something new. So a year later, it finally came around to my birthday. I had one of the best birthdays that I've had in a really long time. I didn't do anything on my birthday, that's the funny thing. I just had dinner with my family, but I got so much cake. Like all my friends got me cake. The new friends that I made in CS at UBC bought me the most delicious, beautiful cake. And I feel like that just embodied what happened this year. I really did that in a year. I don't know. I don't have anything figured out, okay? I am still lost. There's still a lot of things in my life that are not figured out. But I'm okay with that. What's different now than a year ago is that I'm more sure of myself and I'm more comfortable with the fact that I don't need to have it all figured out. At least I have some parts of myself figured out that I'm capable of learning new things, making new friends, and being self-sufficient. If you are in a place where I was like a year ago and you don't really know how to start, my biggest tip is just do a little thing for yourself every day or every other day, whether it is putting yourself out there, making a new friend, talking to somebody new, trying a new hobby, going on a little adventure for yourself. Really look after yourself and show up for yourself. Being your own friend is probably one of the only things that matters at the end of the day. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.